Road rage can be a mix of funny, dangerous, and downright crazy. But what happens when people go out of control in such situations? Today, let's get into a few moments where road rage took a turn for the extreme. So get your seatbelts on and get ready to dive right in. Number 1. Gunshots. Sometimes people act strangely. Imagine you're driving and some random driver is being crazy around you. Normally, you might ask them to chill or maybe get a bit upset. But in this video, things go way too far. This guy got mad for some unknown reason while driving, but instead of solving the matter in a civil way, he takes out a gun and starts shooting. The crazy part? It's all caught on his own dash cam. Like, seriously? Talk about karma. Hoping everyone involved in this, whether they were directly affected or just witnessed it, is doing okay now, because this guy clearly needs some psychiatric help. Number 2. Man going crazy. This next situation is absolutely insane. At first, you can clearly see the black car hitting the other car and crossing it. Then to top it off, it stops right in front of it. But it doesn't end there. The guy from the black car gets out, wearing a mask, and starts hitting the victim's car like a maniac. You can even hear the other guy calling 911, as he is probably scared for his life.
Hey Siri, call 911.
But the question is, why do people have baseball bats in their cars anyway? Do they walk around planning to hit others? Insane. Number 3. We don't follow the rules here. This next video is no joke either. The dashcam footage shows an off-duty police officer, Corporal Alan Ganter, with over 20 years of experience, reaching into a citizen's car and punching him. The incident began when 37-year-old Thomas Broglio honked at Ganter's truck at a red light in Rocky Hill. Ganter, flashing his badge, approached Broglio, took pictures of his license plates, and threatened to give him a ticket. But that wasn't all. He also punched Broglio in the face. The confrontation escalated, with Ganter driving away as Broglio reported the assault to Rocky Hill police. The police report stated that Broglio was left dazed and possibly concussed by the punch. But in return, the police officer also pressed charges, and the school resource officer faced charges of breach of peace and assault. An internal affairs investigation found him in violation of police conduct rules, leading to a 5-day suspension without pay and mandatory de-escalation training for 3 years. Well, maybe one has to keep their hands in control in a situation like this. Number 4, old guy needs to chill. Well, I get it, people can get in fights, but what if someone just tries to crash you? In this unbelievable incident, a pensioner is driving their car, engaging in a high-speed chase through the streets with a motorcyclist. The car reaches speeds of 50 miles per hour, resulting in the pensioner successfully knocking the motorcyclist off their bike. The elderly driver is now facing charges for this reckless incident. The sheer audacity and danger of this chase make it a truly crazy situation. It raises serious concerns about road safety and the need for responsible driving. The ironic part is that this whole incident was shot by the car driver's own dashcam. I mean, karma does serve well. Number 5. Lorry and truck fight. Anger can take the best of you, and this road rage incident is a true example of that. The road rager here is an M62 driver, and you can clearly see him being a nuisance. At first, he can be seen getting into a physical fight with the truck driver. Talk about being aggressive. But things don't end there. He then continues to deliberately crash his M62 into the truck. I wonder what escalated that. But this guy even had a shovel. Man wasn't going to let the truck go without further damage. Now the truck has a broken window as well. Well, that was crazy. Number 6. Car crash in granite wall. This next road rager had me in tears for real. The Accord driver first starts overspeeding, already showing his aggressive driving skills. But as expected, things go wrong real bad. You know, you can't expect anything good when an idiot gets their hands on a car. The same was the case here. After a while of overspeeding, the driver tries to take a rough turn, but bad luck strikes. The driver probably loses control, and the car crashes right into the granite wall. Luckily, the driver was safe, but the car, oh boy, it turned into literal ruins. Maybe next time they won't try road raging. Number 7. Tailgating goes wrong. Here is another example of being aggressive while driving that could have marked the end of the driver's life. The black SUV can be seen tailgating another black car, however. The The driver in front decided to give the tailgater a brake check. And you can see what happened next. Who can they ever blame but themselves for this disaster? Number 8. SUVs. You can see a guy on a bike chasing a black SUV, and it's clear there's some unknown backstory. The biker keeps stopping next to the car, shouting at them. But as soon as the biker resumes riding, the guys in the SUV start tailgating him. It's like a road version of Tom and Jerry, but it gets out of hand. Whenever the biker stops, the SUV guy starts yelling and swearing profusely. The situation escalates to the point where the police get involved and start investigating the whole chaotic scene. By the way, the people in the SUV definitely look like those classic bullies in movies. Maybe being nice is quite difficult, and this was their kind of fun. Weirdos. It gets even weirder when some of them realize that the guy they've been teasing is someone they actually know. It was his gear, because of which they couldn't recognize him. How embarrassing. Number 9. Crossing red light. After watching this road rage incident, I bet you'll never cross a red light again. The black car, having no regard for their own life or of others, crossed the red line. But right when they did it, another car coming from the other side crashed into it. You can see the black car almost landing on a pedestrian and then hitting straight into another car. One mistake and the damage is undeniable. After all, the rules are there for your own safety. Number 10. A true Karen. And now here's a true example of an entitled driver who refuses to accept her mistake. This driver was just driving and listening to some music, but things went wrong while crossing a junction. The other car driver was not only driving carelessly, but also didn't give way to the other car and crashed right into it. But things get crazy after this. Even though she was clearly in the wrong, this reckless driver swears and yells at the other person. Wasn't that your own fault, Mom? Number 11. Road rage turning deadly. Usually road rages only have a verbal fight, and if things get out of hand, it can get physical too. But then, there are situations where guns are used, and those are the worst cases. Something similar happened in this case. You see the black car, the driver was being an idiot. And I kid you not, it didn't end well for him. Not only does he keep changing lanes, but also tries to cut the red car off. The second car owner, while trying to cut him off, ends up clipping the car's front end. And that's where the brawl begins. The guys who actually started it punched the person in the red car. But boom, you can hear gunshots. Turns out the guy who threw a punch at the driver was shot 3 times. Not only that, another driver in the white car who was simply passing by was shot in his arm. By law, the guy who used the gun had the right to protect himself. But what in the world, y'all? Number 12. Pink Panther fights. After such a deadly one, here's a bit of a funny incident. While recording a police officer, the person with the camera spots something odd under the bridge. Zooming in, they discover 2 guys attempting to throw punches in a hilariously clumsy way. To add to the humor, one of the guys is sporting these bright pink pants that make the whole situation even funnier. It's like they are little kids trying to throw punches at each other. But thankfully, they listened to the police officer and went back to their cars. Number 13. Paying for the speed. Speed driving must be fun, but sometimes it's just not the right place and time. You see those blue and red sports cars? Those are the idiots I'm talking about. From the very beginning, their aggressive driving is clear as they cut many cars off while also crossing the speed limits. But it doesn't go on for long because, in a matter of seconds, you can see a dirt cloud on the side of the road. Yeah, that's the red sports car that was being a true nuisance. The blue car driver vanishes from the scene, probably not knowing what had happened to his friend. The problem with such drivers is that they not only hurt themselves but also harm the innocent. Number 14. Indian road rage. In this funny yet aggressive road rage scene from India, it seems like the person inside the car might have done something to upset the guy outside. The guy is now trapped inside his car, with the other person punching the bonnet and demanding him to come out. What happens next is anyone's guess. Does the guy inside the car get a beating, or do they find a resolution? When the guy in the car gets really scared, he decides to drive off. However, the guy who was threatening him wasn't afraid to lose his life. He even attempted to jump in front of the car to stop him. It's a pretty foolish decision, He could have seriously gotten hurt or worse. If I were in that situation, my first priority would be my safety. But this man's got some nerve. I mean, what could really get you that angry? Number 15. Cab stories. This one has to be my favorite. The video shows a guy punching a cab driver in Bangalore for taking a left from the right side. The fortunate dude got seriously ticked off when he saw the cab making an illegal move. He tried to block the cab at first, but failed. After that, he stops the cab in the middle of the road and throws a punch right in front of kids and everyone else. Just another day in Bangalore's RoadRage saga, caught on camera. Crazy stuff. Number 16. Karen and 911. According to the driver, this lady started honking at him continuously. Annoyed by the constant honking, the driver flipped a finger at her, and that's where this whole thing started. During the whole argument, the lady keeps talking about her missed appointment and how the driver will have to pay for the co-payment. After calling 911, she tells the agent that he's harassing her. The argument goes on for quite a while, but the funny part is that the lady delayed her appointment for an apology from a stranger. But the guy definitely got a video to show everyone and have a good laugh. Number 17. I'm right. This one's a classic case of making a mistake on the road and then trying to act like you're in the right. This guy was driving recklessly and nearly got hit by a truck. Instead of owning up to it, he drives off. But the truck driver, rightfully concerned, flashes at him. Now, the guy from the car gets out and starts shouting at the truck driver, blaming him. He even tries to call the police and threatens the truck driver, saying he'll make him lose his job. Honestly, if the police actually arrived, wouldn't it be him who'd get arrested? Even after getting back into the car, he opens the door again to yell at the truck driver. Quite the drama queen on the road, I'd say. Number 18. Headbutt. This one's a bit different from others because it doesn't even involve a car or a bike. Instead, it's a cyclist going all rogue on a pedestrian. You can see that the cyclist ran a red light and narrowly avoided hitting the person who was trying to cross the road. And instead of apologizing, he hit him. But boy, that headbutt was spot on. Look at how the pedestrians fell on his back, as if someone picked him up and threw him away. Man's got some real superpowers. Number 19. Crazy woman. This girl was probably having a really rough day. So rough that it made her go insane. When the signal turns green, the car behind starts moving like it should. But oh boy, the lady gets super annoyed and starts yelling. She goes all out, punching the car several times and even scratching it with her chain. Talk about a bad day turning into a full-blown road rage episode. Number 20. Double trouble. The poor traffic guy was just doing his job, checking someone on the side of the road, and out of nowhere, a car showed up and straight up threw the police officer off the road. The car that he pulled over also suffered damages. That's truly crazy. Good thing it got caught on a dash cam, so there's evidence for some proper action to be taken. Road situations can get wild, huh? Number 21. Deputy Sean McGuigan. All right, get ready for this one, guys. Deputy Sean McGuigan is just doing his job, keeping an eye on things near I-75 and County Road 234 in Macanopy. Suddenly, this gold Chevy Suburban decides stop signs are more of a suggestion, not a rule. It hits a curb. It all starts in the Cafe Risca parking lot and moves to County Road 234. Oh, and during this wild chase, the driver throws a drink out the window. Real classy move. Now, the Suburban heads south on 441 and even tries driving the wrong way at times, hitting speeds that'll make your grandma blush 100 miles per hour in a construction zone. The driver's giving McGuigan the good old middle finger the whole time. McGuigan tries some fancy moves to spin the car out and finally pulls it off. But surprise, the Suburban escapes, slamming into McGuigan's car like it's a demolition derby. They even try the old spike strip trick, but no dice. More cops join the party, FHP, Deputy Brian Jones, and Deputy Jasper Stevenson. The chase takes a scenic route to Trelocca Boulevard in Macanopy and back south on 441. Stevenson pulls off a move that finally works. McGuigan gets up close and personal with the car. Mr. Richardson, the driver, tries to make a run for it. But hold your horses, FHP and the deputies surround him and they nab him without any Hollywood-style drama. Turns out Richardson's been up to the same thing in Marion County earlier that day. Oh, and he's already on probation in Citrus County for DUI and fleeing. Now he's looking at a whole buffet of charges, fleeing and eluding law enforcement, aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, driving with a suspended revoked license, and reckless driving. Number 22. The goofy fighter. Even though the two drivers are clearly in an argument, one of them can't stop jumping around and teasing the other guy. But as you guessed it, things took a turn for the worse. What at first looked like some comedy skit turned into a full-on fight. The guy in the white shirt even broke his glasses while trying to punch the bouncing man. But what makes it funnier is the fact that the guy never stopped bouncing around, as if it's some routine stuff for him. Well, at least no one got hurt. Number 23. Spider-Man should take notes. This one is like a scene straight out of a superhero movie. One guy is standing, likely throwing some choice words at the dude in the car. In a blink, the car guy hops into his ride, starts it up, and slams right into the standing guy. Bam! But hold on. The standing guy isn't backing down. He latches onto the car, holding tight even as the dude tries to make a getaway. Talk about some real-life superhero action. I mean, Spider-Man should take notes. Number 24. Entitled doctors. Lastly, I have these entitled doctors who'll surely make your blood boil. This cyclist named Mike stopped these doctors going in the wrong direction on a one-way lane. He tells them calmly to go back and use the right path. However, the woman acts all entitled while the man driving the car wouldn't budge either. Their reason behind this chaos? They were late to see some patients. But is it necessary to break the law in order to see the patients? That's pretty weird, honestly. The two are so entitled that even after blocking the whole traffic, they didn't want to move away. And it wasn't until a whole lot of cars started honking that the guy finally turned away. But even when they're going back, you can hear the woman speak loudly against the cyclist. And here's a bonus Karen in this same video. The guy in the white car, instead of appreciating Mike for this job, was mad at him. Yes, he also occasionally breaks laws like this to reach his destination faster. And that was all the road drama. You gotta love it all. That's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back with more content soon. Until then, take care.